Hello, faithful viewer. I'm Mr. Davis, Samuel Davis, and I'm joined by...
Hello. My name is Rassilon Productions, and,
Sorry, I've got some crisps here. You were saying?
My name is Rassilon Productions, and, I make audios, and...
I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. This is Rassilon Productions. We've been working together for a good while now. It's so good to finally be speaking after working together months on the Dark Days audio series.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you had me on that from day one. It's basically a fan audio equivalent of Broke Canon. So it's a perfect match. It's a match made in heaven. And today we're here with Love and Monsters. What a great pick, because, for better or for worse, there's plenty to say.
Very true, very true. Whether it's good or bad.
I dare any Whovian not to have a loaded opinion on it.
It's probably the most controversial episode of all time.
And I think it's deserved. I do think it's deserved. Like, the audacity to even put Billy Piper and David Tennant in the opening credits. Do you reckon Elton edited in these credits himself?
Yeah. It's such a weird story. I don't know. I like it, but I find it unironically good.
It's bravely weird. I'm glad you enjoy it. I definitely do enjoy it, but I won't go as far to call it a great episode. It's so uniquely Russell. It's the most Russell script ever, Russell.
And I think it goes to his strengths. It's very cheesy, and it manages to mix in a lot of continuity and sad and dark themes. And I think it really works.
He really balances everything into one script and makes it so audaciously tacky at the same time. So yeah, it is the most Russell, and it depends whether that's a good thing to you. For me it is, but I always feel like the mad Russellisms need to be curtailed. You need to tame him a bit, otherwise you get the ending of End of Time, Part 1, or say, I don't know, Walking Fats, Last of the Time Lords...
Paving Slabs...
Yeah, when you let him get to doing whatever he wants, he gets carried away in the madness of it all, which isn't by itself a bad thing, but it is how we end up with the Absorbaloff, Mr. K.
We all love Mr. K, don't we?
Well, the Absorbaloff? I think he's my dad.
I'm not judging you. Technically, he canonically fucks. I mean, that's a Broke Canon episode in itself.
Oh dear. Oh dear, not a good image. The thing with this story that I really have to stress is that for 10-year-old me, this story felt like it was custom made. Not only was I a kid vlogger, not only did I love Mark Warren from shows like Hustle, but also a lifelong fan of ELO. So imagine how this wasn't broadcast.
And this episode really kind of introduced me to Electric Light Orchestra. And I cannot thank this episode enough for doing so.
Hey, best track of theirs. Go.
Don't Bring Me Down or Turn to Stone.
Lovely. I like Night in the City because it's too cool to be an ELO song. So now we're getting some very budget-conscious takes on old episodes. Something that Russell will come back to, so it gets overlooked just how unique it is here. It's so cool seeing the universe from a guy on the ground.
But I really do love the callbacks. And one of the strengths of Russell's era is continuity.
I love this shot. If I'm correct as well, the Linda website is still online.
Yeah, I think there is. It's the same as the Clive one, which is still up now.
I used to remember all the fake Doctor Who websites they made on the official sites, and I always felt like I was a hacker, like getting into the unit website with the... I used to feel like I was genuinely hacking. It was adorable. Thank you, Flash Player. There's a whole era of interactive media we'll never get again.
Yeah.
I have to admit to a massive crush on the actress who plays Ursula. I don't know whether it was Harry Potter or Bridget Jones. I'm not going to apologise for it. I have to say, one of my massive issues with this story is I think the idea of it being a Paraborn fandom is massively overstated.
That's true.
Don't get me wrong, I like that angle, but I just wish there was more of it then.
But at the same time, the short time we have with them kind of... You actually said you want more, and I feel like that elevates the story a bit.
When you really look at it on the page, Linda are a group for about a 5-minute montage, and we're currently in it. And then after this point, we don't see them ever operate as a fandom again. So when people say that's what this genius episode is about, I'm not left satisfied. I think it's over-exaggerated.
It doesn't focus too hard on them, so it means you like the characters and you want to see more. So when they die...
Yeah, not wrong there at all. I just wish the episode itself was more conscious of it being about fandom. It's there, don't get me wrong, it's definitely there when we start stalking Jackie to get closer to people. But I feel like Victor Kennedy maybe isn't the right villain for this story, because if your story is about how easily fandom spaces can be infiltrated by people with nefarious means, like in the real life, in the real world, Victor Kennedy doesn't really do that. What I'm saying is, make Victor Kennedy a white supremacist.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that viewpoint. In my opinion, it's a story about loneliness. Ooh. I feel like that's the ongoing theme throughout. And there's Jackie, there's Elton, there's the entire Linda group come together because they all have a common goal, but because they're all lonely. They're all outcasts.
Like Docu Who fandom. That's a take I can absolutely get behind. I knew that was a reason I invited you to this one.
To be honest, in some cases this episode is so nonsensical to the point in which you could look past it, that you can just have fun.
I promise I don't invite people on just so I can shit over their favourite episodes. Because I do like this. I think in my ranking video I said it was a likeable 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I can see that.
See, but already I'm thinking that was too harsh.
It's not an episode for everyone, and I feel like it's the same with Series 2, really. Recently there's been a lot of hate towards it.
It's caught so much flack.
Yeah.
I think if you take Series 2 out of context, the combination of Fear Her and Love and Monsters, like back to back, puts a lot of people off.
Yeah, and the 10 Rose stuff.
Look, I'm no 10 Rose shipper, Stan, but I know what it's there for in 10's story. So when I watch Runaway Bride, Stolen Earth, Waters of Mars, and End of Time, look all that payoff.
I'm at the scene right now where Elton is just having a breakdown at Sandra's house, and everyone is just like there, like, yeah. And Mr. Skinner's just completely unfazed by this, and he's
just saw a machine vanish. So
whatever your thoughts on this Victor Kennedy is.
Oh, Peter Kay's brilliant when he's Victor Kennedy. He's very funny whilst being very subdued. And then he becomes a loud roaring monster man. Now, I think we might have missed the shot already, the elusive 6th member of Linda.
Wait, what?
Who is hiding in the back of one of these shots. Ha! There she is. Little is known about this mysterious member of Linda.
Really?
No, not really. It's part of the crew.
Oh my god. Do you think Victor Kennedy will be in Not My Doctor?
100%.
What do you think Mr. Kennedy's thoughts would be on the Chibnall era?
He wants the Doctor hunted down, so to him, he's trying to end Doctor Who.
He's the Michael Grade of Doctor Who.
I don't expect Rassilon Davies to have predicted the next 10-20 years of fandom culture and how divisive and awful it got, but it would have been nice, because I know that Rassilon Davies had some experiences with toxic fandoms in his own youth. They all used to go to that pub, didn't they? All the early Wilderness writers. And there were punch-ups and scuffles.
Yeah. The fact that he has a picture of Rose here is like, it's so weird.
What, that stock photo of Series 1 Rose? Is Victor Kennedy just in the bushes in that scene?
What I like about Victor Kennedy is that he's toxic in his own right, but he brings out the toxicity in others.
Which would make for the great basis of a fandom story, but they never go far enough there. I'm a broken record.
Down the avenue, see how the sun shines rising in the city.
Oh, and here we come to the highlight of the story. Camille Kaduri steals the show.
Oh, completely.
Seeing how much vulnerability and like girliness even that she brings to Jackie is excellent. I think, of course, she's not a character you appreciate as much when you're a kid, but I've got to say this section of the story with Mark Warren and Camille Kaduri, it just so much, it grows on me constantly and constantly.
When I was a kid, I could not watch this. I dreaded it.
It's like your own mum flashing her knickers.
I couldn't watch it. Oh, God.
Now I see it now, especially as I can't tell what age Elton is really meant to be. Do they say?
No.
It's very vague, which is maybe why I'm attracted to the story more as a 20-something. A 20-something who also wants to sleep with Camille Kaduri.
Elton is definitely Russell T Davies when he was younger. I feel like that was the kind of basis for what was going on in this episode. What was I like when he was younger? When he was meeting in his pub, what was it like? What was the atmosphere like? And yeah, he really reflected himself. He reflected his own thoughts onto the story.
Oh, Jackie just referenced Mickey. Mickey's gone. You accused him of murder.
It's one of the highlights of the scene.
It's one of my favourites of the season. Is that going too far? Although I'm a sucker for happy scenes, which actually turn out to be very, very sad scenes. It's really, really upsetting because halfway through the sequence, Elton does realise mates would be great mates.
Oh, I completely agree.
So still, we've got more of that boyish, feckless innocence leading him to do really quite terrible things. Things that my darling baby Jackie does not deserve. Honestly, when it comes to Doctor Who characters, I think the only ones I'm more protective of are Joe Grant and Wilf, honestly. I think Elton's been enjoying the boy investigator part too much. The idea of having his own adventure. Like, remember, he had the name Linda ready on hand. The whole episode frames it as an exciting thing he's doing. Even ELO plays.
I didn't think of it like that.
That kind of infiltration is done by companions all the time. The story tells us that Elton would be a fine companion. There's many moments in the story where he sort of positions himself in between the other members of Linda and Victor Kennedy. So even though he's this very meek man, he's playing hero. Maybe sometimes he enjoys it too much in this story.
One search on the internet and they would have realised that eczema doesn't exist.
Or they just popped on Blue Peter and seen who won the monster competition. Actually, to be fair, he was meant to be as big as a double-decker bus, so I think that you wouldn't recognise the TV iteration of the Absorbaloff. I still feel kind of bitter. I'm going to be honest. There's a reason I didn't invite you on, William, and that's because I entered a monster into the Creator Monster competition as well, and I lost. I lost hard.
Wow.
I don't remember what my guy's deal was. I was
about to ask, yeah.
I'd like to think, in retrospect, as an ongoing joke, that there was like a football monster who was made up of footballs. And I've always wanted to claim that as being my original content. But I want to be responsible for him, but I'm just not. I really do want to see the version of this story with the football monster.
Yeah, how would that even work?
Who is composed of many footballs.
Like, what would the story be?
No. Nothing has changed. The script is already written, sir. We are just going to plonk in the football monster. That you made a great point on Twitter about it being a story about just a lost boy who's looking for his mother.
Yeah, that's exactly how I put it, and it's exactly how I put it now. Yeah, he doesn't expect to find Linda, and he doesn't expect to find Jackie or anyone in his life, in his story. He doesn't expect anything.
It's a very adult episode, with adult characters going through adult experiences, but then you throw the Absorbaloff in. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, I just think Russell is so Russell that it's a hard episode to get a hang on to.
There are a lot of episodes in Doctor Who that don't need a monster, like Rosa, for example.
Definitely. Hell, I would prefer Victor Kennedy if he was just a human. What if, here's a concept, Victor Kennedy was just another fan, or perhaps linked to Torchwood. Maybe we're introducing Torchwood for the season finale. But instead he's just a strange absorbing man. He's got all this set up, but his end goal just culminates in, I want to eat the Doctor because I think he'll taste nice. Man, what a waste. Put the football monster back in.
And he comes to the realisation that Victor Kennedy and his kind of motivations, and he finally breaks. I love Mark Warrant's performance here, because you can tell it's kind of this childlike man growing up.
Elton definitely isn't coming across as a textbook Doctor Who fan. He doesn't wear an anorak, he likes football.
Yeah.
He's just an actual character, unique little weirdo. Hell, Mark Warren would have done that character justice as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. That is certainly one of Russell's strengths. It's writing everyday people. He understands people and how they speak and how they would understand the situation to kind of genuinely make me feel sad for side characters. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely brilliant
It's
reveal.
a very defining moment. You can't put this on screen in a primetime slot and not expect your series to change. I much prefer the Hoiks. I'm trying to think of a version of the script where maybe we could flip those two designs. Does that help? I don't know. The Hoyks, we have to say, we did miss him earlier. What a gorgeous visual design. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And especially as they put that together with a bunch of spare parts.
Really?
Russell wasn't meant to write in another monster. He cheekily wrote in another monster, so they had to improvise. And it's the best looking thing in Russell's era, probably.
Oh, here we have them pulling. Oh, this is... what a conclusion. It's so Russell. This episode is so Russell.
Look at the two of us talking like we know the guy. I mean, to be fair, we were raised by him, so we're on first name basis.
You know, if this was less prime time or like done in Big Finish or something like that, there could have been a lot more body horror in the story, especially with the ending scene.
Like you can see the faded faces on him. That's horrific, and we're playing it comedy-wise. We're playing it for jokes.
I kind of felt like the Absorber would have been great for Torchwood.
Oh, now that's a vision. That's a sight. The episode's about to jump the shark. It's really about to lose itself. There we go. The second he jumps out off that table.
Oh.
This feels like a Harry Hill skit.
How does she still have the glasses on? How does she keep them on?
Oi, you upset my mum. And the doctor just comes in and swats him. Well, no, he doesn't really do anything. He just makes an appearance and turns Ursula into a paving slab. Imagine the target novelisation for this story from the Doctor's perspective.
This is just a pinnacle moment in Doctor Who. I do like how they use the cane as the kind of...
Really?
It kind of makes sense.
Well, it creates a limitation field, obviously.
They didn't build it up enough, and that was the weakness, and it would have been a lot more fitting if they did.
Why does Elton, at the beginning of the episode, he talks about Ursula in a past tense? This is going to be very strange when we find out at the end she is literally on his mantelpiece in the corner. She's watching him make this video diary, and he's talking about her in the past tense. That was Ursula. Poor Ursula. It's a cool bit of dialogue, this ending monologue, but I don't know what its through line is. I can't... You went into it briefly, but I don't know what Russell thinks this speech's through line is. What is the takeaway from this episode?
I do feel like that Russell's better with endings than people give him credits.
I think you put it better than the story does itself, I have to say. So this is my sex toy? She's become an owner hole, and that's upsetting. It's a Black Mirror-esque ending for her, and Russell sees nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely, but how does it even work? I hate to ask it, but like, how does it even work?
It's so a decision that Russell made just because he could and he thought it'd be funny, which I admire. Maybe she's going down on him right now. No. That's a bad angle. It's horrifying.
She still has her glasses on. How does she still have her glasses on?
What a fun pick. Thank you for joining me today.
No problem. It's a great story in my opinion.
Always got time for a reappraisal. The link to our Dark Days series, well, it's more yours than mine, is in the description. Go and check out Rassilon Productions, please. Some of my favourite stuff on the net.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd look forward to it.
Something so unique of a vision could never be on the worst list.
Peace.